Welcome to Database Solution. I hope you are doing very well. In this video, I will show you how to read the data from our CSV file into a Spark data frame. And we also see how to check data type, print the schema, infer schema, which import the correct schema into data frame, and how to define a schema before reading file into data frame. So before going to start, I request you to please subscribe the channel and like this video if you find this video helpful. Now let's get started. And first of all, we want to see all the mount path available in this Databricks. So to check the mount path, you can use here display, then dvutils command. Dvutils, we already talked about this, .fs .mount mounts, and this is the method. So we need to use here bracket, and we can use here, we want to use this path. We already mount this part in previous video, and my all file available in this demo container. So let's see all file using magic command fs, and we can use here ls to see all file available into this demo container. You can use here fs, this is magic command, then ls to list all file which is available in demo container. Okay, we want to read country file, so let's use copy this path and use here spark.read.csv to read the data from this path, and use this path. And if you want to see documentation, you can refer this documentation as Spark documentation. Go to API and search here read CSV file, and you can see here these are the documentation DataFrame reader.csv. okay, so you can refer this how to read spark. You can see here spark.read.csv, and mandatory key is here path, and you can also see optional key here. Path is mandatory and these are the optional which is null by default. Okay, so we use here spark.read.csv, and if you execute this command, you can see here data type is data frame. Let's use here variable countries.d_df to assign the value into this variable. If you want to check this data type, you can use here type, then put variable. You can see here this is the data frame, Spark data frame. Okay, now in order to see the content of this data frame, we can use here the show method. So let's use countries_df dot show and execute. You can see here it's list up to 20 records including here header. You can see it's not reading correctly because it's considered header as a row. So if you want to see here the show command, go to documentation and enter, and you can see here data frame dot show display only 20 records and truncated if it's exceed length of 20. Okay, so go back to here, and you can see here it's better to use display command. So you can use here display, then country, and it's display in tabular format. Okay, you can see here. You can also use here as a method. So for example, countries dot display. I prefer this method. So you can see here it's read as same as this one using function or as a method. Okay, so as you can see here, we got a problem. We unable to identify the header correctly. To rectify this, we can use here, let's copy this first, this path, and go to new cell, type here, and you can use here header equal to true and enter. Now use here display command, display. Now it's read correctly here is the header, and then these are the data. Okay. Additionally, we can also use here option command to correct the header. So we can use here option, and in bracket we can use here header equal to true, and remove from here header. Okay. So let's delete this and execute. First of all, we need to correct this code and execute. You can see here it's read correctly, and now you can see display command to display the output of data frame. Okay, you can see we read correctly data. Now if you want to see the data type of this data frame, we can use here data frame dot d type to see the data type. Execute. You can see here that these are the column and these are the data type, but you can see here all column has data type string, so this is not correct. It should be, for example, country ID may be integer, and nationality this may be string, country code may be integer. We can also use print schema to check the data type. So let's now use here country dot print schema. You can see here country string data type nullable, means it should be nullable, it should be null or not null in column. Okay, we can also use here describe command to check the data type. So let's use here describe dot describe dot show. Now you can see here Spark execute here two job, and first you can see here the minimum and maximum of minimum and maximum, and also you can find here means and count of all row. You can check here. Okay, and if you execute only describe command, then you can see here the summary of here summary string, country ID has a string, name string, and nationality string, all column. Okay, in order to import correct data type, we can use here infer schema as a true in option. So let's use, first of all, let's copy this file path, and in new cell we can use here in option infer schema equal to true, and execute. Now you can see here infer schema read all the file, then it's correct data type. You can see here two job. Okay, if you have heavy data in a file, then it's not suitable in production environment, so we can use separate schema to define and read data. So let's see first data type. This is attribute. Now you can see here country, this is integer, name string, and you can see here population also is an integer, and area this double, region ID this is integer. Okay, now it's infer correct data type. Now in order to define by user, you can also check here data type, and these are the data type available in Spark. These are the data type available in Spark. This is integer data type. Okay, nullable data type, this is structure field and stack type. Okay, so we need to use here stack type and stack field. Stack type as a row you can consider, and stack field as a column you can consider now. So let's import first schema. In order to specify the schema, we need to understand the data type in data frame first of all, and we want to first of all import a schema from Spark. So from we can use here PySpark dot SQL dot types. Okay, import integer data type. We want to also import string data type. We want to import double data type, then extract field and extract type. Okay, and let's use here schema countries schema extract type as a row you can consider, then extract field, and here we need to define. So first here country, which is integer data type, and nullable value you can use here false. Okay, so let's quickly define here. You can see we quickly here define all column their data type, country as an integer, name as a string, nationality as a string data type, and you can see here as shown. So let's execute first. So we execute this schema. Now let's use this define schema to read correct data type. So let's copy this and paste here. Remove this infer schema because it's execute to job. We do not want to use here infer schema. We want to define here on schema, our on schema. So let's remove this option command. We want to use into this here. So header should be true, and schema should be this one, it's country schema. Okay, now let's execute. It's execute successfully, and now let's see d types. You can see now country as a integer, name as a string, nationality as a string as we define here. Okay, we can also use as we using option, we can define here, copy this, Control X, and use here option. After read option and use in bracket, paste here. After that dot CSV dot file path, and you can use here print schema as well to check the data type. Print schema, execute. Let's use method. Now you can see here country as a string, name as a string, nationality as a string, country code. Remove from here, it's not correctly reading. We have to use here schema, and in schema we need to pass country schema variable. Okay, as we define here. So we make here mistake, so it's not inferred here correct schema. So let's execute now, and now let's see data type. Now you can see correct data type. You can also use now print schema. You can see a correct schema. So I will put all this code we use in this video into description box. You can copy from there and you can do practice as per your convenience. So that's all about in this video. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe this channel and like this video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.